AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
Hey, Will.
Hey, bud.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day. I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to go by it's a hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's a hump day.
Hump day.
And boy, Mike.
It's hump day.
It's almost draft day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And Muse.
Hump day.
Yeah.
Who do you think
It's
the
hump
Saints?
day.
Who do you think the Saints are going to pick?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I think the Saints are going to pick Cornell Tate.
Hump day.
Hey, Paul.
It's hump day.
Yes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
What's the average flight speed of a swallow?
Hump day.
I have no idea.
It's hump day.
You thought I was going to ask you who the Saints are going to pick, huh?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I did, yes.
Hump day.
Oh, who do you think they're going to pick?
It's hump day.
Probably somebody we're not even thinking of.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Answer the question, Paul.
Hump day.
I'm drawing a blank.
It's hump day.
I literally just need you to say a name.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Mackay Lemon.
Okay.
Hump day.
Paul, what in the hell just happened?
It's hump day.
Did you black out?
I was trying to,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I was trying to think of a better name than that, but yeah.
You're a Saints fan. Just tell me a name, any name.
Hump day.
Oh, man. Did you get hold of Muse's brownies?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
No, I'm just very sleep deprived.
Understood.
Hump day.
Say, dog, we have all been, well, anyone who's had a newborn has been there. We have been there. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Sean Fazende will be here in about 11 minutes from right now. He was at Mickey Loomis's press conference earlier today, pre-draft. So we'll talk some draft with Sean Fazende about 11 minutes from right now. Lane Kiffin met with reporters on Tuesday, and rare day. I actually got the mic 3 times to ask questions. 2 of them in particular were about position groups that I think were a gigantic problem for LSU in the last 2 seasons, that they've worked very hard to fortify and build some veteran experience depth. But it's 2 position groups that we've also seen a good bit of rotation so far in this spring, which leads me to believe that it's far from some spots are solidified. One on each side of the ball, one position group on each side of the ball. It's, you probably guessed, it's the offensive line and it's safety. 2 years ago was the worst safety play I've ever seen at LSU. We've talked about it plenty. That's a position group that has produced from LaRon Landry and Eric Reed, first-round picks, award winners like Grant Delpit. I mean, stunning. Jamal Adams. Stunning to see it 2 years ago as bad as it was. So what did they do? They went in the portal and they added Halsey and Cooley, and they fortified that group, and you had Deshaun Spears coming back, and they were much better last year. But you lose Halsey after his one season and a lot of your depth as well. So you added Ty Benefield, but you still got some questions there, especially now with TaMarcus Cooley having been injured a little bit. You're seeing a ton. We are seeing a ton of rotation at safety, and then of course on the offensive line. So we'll get to offensive line in a second, but let's stay on safety. So I asked Lane. I asked him a very broad question because one thing that I've found with him so far is we've talked about this. I think he is very thoughtful with his answers, and he doesn't say anything without intention. So if I needed a very specific answer to something, I would ask, like whenever we've reported some of the injuries, and I asked him point blank, "Can you confirm Gabriel Rutherford's torn ACL?" That's a very pointed yes or no question. You're either going to answer that or not. And he has, but sometimes I'm curious where he's going to go if he's elaborative. And so when I asked him about the safeties, I asked him to give an overview of that position because there's a lot of different directions he could take this, and I was curious where he would go.
You know, we really play with three of them, and then they get stuck back in the same positions based off of formations and coverages and stuff. And so I think the young guys have done a really good job. Guys have had chances because of us holding some injury, some holding with Ty to go in there and compete. So it'll be exciting. I think this summer will be really big for young players. You know, we hit them with a lot when we came in. By the way, the workouts were installs, just different. Not saying anything negative before, just we're really different by what we do and how much we put on the players. And so I think the summer slows down for them, and I think that's where you'll see a jump, especially in your young players.
Okay. Now, in that answer, he told you a lot. First, he said we really play three of them. Okay, because when we say star, what is normally the positional word that follows star? You can say it out loud. What is it? Star linebacker, right? That's generally how people define star, right? Star linebacker. Well, he just said we play with three of them, meaning three safeties. They look at star as a safety, not as a linebacker. And I think that's important because when he's talking about three of them, he's not talking about going nickel. He's talking about that being their base with Deshaun Spears, a safety, as the third safety on the field. That may sound obvious, but again, last year your star was Harold Perkins. He was a linebacker. This year, it's Deshaun Spears, who's a safety. They look at it as a safety. You heard him say that. That's important. Because it's important because if they're replacing Spears for whatever reason, I don't think it's going to be with a linebacker. It's going to be with another safety. So you also heard him say we've gotten a lot of guys work because some because of injury, some because we're holding some guys. And he says like with Ty Benefield. That's something we've noticed. There are times where they have Ty Benefield is just standing there behind the defense watching, and other guys are rotating with the ones. We've seen it in team periods. We've seen it in the scrimmage. A lot of time on Saturday, the safeties with the first defense were there was no TaMarcus Cooley. They held Ty Benefield. It was Jace Thomas and Fahim Delane running with the first team at safety. Those guys aren't going to start. The other two I mentioned are if they're there, but it's giving a lot of those guys opportunity. And you heard him say about it's going to be important for the young guys this summer. Well, we have seen a lot of Fahim Delane, a lot of Jace Thomas, CJ Jim Coyley, who is kind of a hybrid safety linebacker playing back at free safety, and then Aiden Hall, the freshman from Edna Carr, who's an early enrollee, looks really good, by the way. He's playing the star position, which is a safety. They view it as a safety. So I think those are important designations as they're building depth behind the guys that are the first two, Ty Benefield and TaMarcus Cooley. And I wouldn't be stunned if one of those guys, Delane or Thomas, I don't know if it'll happen, but I wouldn't be stunned if one of those guys really pushed TaMarcus Cooley in fall camp. Ty Benefield is locked in. That's not even a question. But keep an eye on the other spot to see if someone could push TaMarcus Cooley. Now, the offensive line is the other position that I asked about. And I asked about it because in the last week in particular, maybe 2 weeks, we have seen a lot of rotation on the offensive line. Remember, at the start of spring, left to right, it was Seton and Harper, Moore at center, Ba at right guard, and Weston Davis at right tackle. And that was the first team offensive line every time out. Then all of a sudden we saw Bo Bordelon at left guard. And Harper went to second team left guard. And Jaquan Sprinkle was at right guard. And Darren Stray was at tackle. And then on Saturday, we saw Harper at right tackle and Stray at right guard. And then we saw Harper at right guard instead of left guard where he was. They moved Sprinkle over. So the point is, they're playing, there are three positions that are locked, solidified, not changing. Seton's your left tackle, Braylon Moore's your center, Alubaz your right guard. That's done. Those guys are healthy. Those three starters are there. Weston Davis could get pushed by Harper or Stray at right tackle, and then you could have some rotation at left guards, Bo Bordelon right now. Those two spots are up for grabs. So I asked Lane Kiffin about what their philosophy is, like why at this point they're rotating so much on the offensive line.
Just trying to find the best players, and I think when you're coming new, like we are to the program, but especially on this side of the ball, I think that's important to look at guys at different spots. Not only for like what is their best spot, but then when you get jammed up in some seasons, one of the big things in college football is luck within a season of injuries and out of your control. And you'll have some really good years. Last year we had an elite year of health and low injuries and almost the same starters almost every week. And then you're going to have some years where it's not going to work like that, like the year before. So the more you can move them around and see what they do, even if it's not their best thing, so that when those injuries happen, we don't now all of a sudden. That's why we do a lot of that.
So last year in spring, remember, in 2024, it's when you had Campbell and Emory Jones and Dellinger and Frazier. You had those four great veteran players. Your center was DJ Chester, and he was the weak link, and we all knew it. And so they were determined they were not going to let that happen again. So they went in the transfer portal and signed the best center in the portal. That was Braylon Moore. Well, last year in spring, DJ Chester was still running first team at center. And we all knew, they went into the portal and got Braylon Moore to play center. But last year in spring, Chester was still playing a lot of center. You're like, why? Well, it's an opportunity to try a lot of different things and a lot of combos, which happens in spring. But I think the other part that Lane Kiffin mentioned there is so important when he talked about injuries. Remember, there is no spring portal. Your roster is set. You've already lost two important depth pieces in Gabe Relaford and Aiden Anding, and you can't replace them. Your roster is done. This isn't the NFL where you can go to the waiver wire or sign a free agent or make a trade. Your roster is done. There is no spring portal window anymore. So you want to find, like he said, guys in their best position, but you also have to see what else they're capable of. Because like in the NFL, where you have limited roster, you have to find swing guys. A guy like Sinio Kelmete was so valuable because he could play guard, he could play left tackle, or on the right side. It didn't matter. Will Clapp was so valuable because he could play anywhere on the interior. He could play center or either guard spot. In a pinch, boom, Clapp could go in there, and he could play. It's why he hung around the NFL for as long as he did, because of his versatility. So similarly now, you have to look at the offensive line in those terms. Well, Devin Harper could be a really valuable guy. He's played left guard. He's played right tackle. He's played right guard. He's played left, right, guard, and tackle. That's a guy that you feel, I don't know if you feel great about it right now as a best option, but it's an option that you have. So I think all of that is just a peek into a little bit of the insight into how and why they're doing what they're doing. Again, we're all learning this. Like me and you and all of us, we're all learning what this program is going to look like under Lane Kiffin. He said, they're going to do something different. He's like, it doesn't mean it was wrong or bad the other way before with the previous staff. It's just different. And so we're learning what it is. And he's kind of giving you a little peek behind the curtain there at two position groups where they have been bad over the last 2 years. You're looking for dramatic improvement. Personnel coaching, all of it, depth, and they're working on that here in the spring. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Come back. Sean Fazende will be here. We'll talk some draft at AFR.
After further review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Time's ticking, y'all. Got about a little more than a week remaining in the Gordon's Grads laptop giveaway. You have until the end of the month to submit your entries. If you're not familiar, you haven't heard us talking about it. So every year around high school graduation, Gordon gives away 15 laptops or MacBooks to graduating Louisiana high school seniors that are going to a 2 or 4 year college or trade school. So if that's you or someone in your family or someone you know, make sure they're aware of this so they can go enter. You have until the end of April to enter. So go to gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com. You can see all the info on how to enter. They got to post on all their social media as well. That's at GetGordon if you want to follow them on social. But the easiest way is just go to gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com. That's where you can go to enter to win one of 15 laptops or MacBooks. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Where are you guys though? I mean, after the success you had late last
we're not one player away.
Mickey Loomis met reporters on the eve of the NFL Draft. Sean Fazende, everybody from Fox 8, good enough to join us, talk a little bit about it. Yo, man, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing really well. Does this one feel – I mean, you've covered a lot of these. Sat and listened to Mickey in his pre-draft press conference. Does this one feel different than other years?
A little bit. I thought, and just look, I've done this a long time. I've been to this press conference a long time. Past years, it's a whole lot of nothing, a lot of vague, lot of, like I said, whole lot of nothing. But I thought this one, I thought he had a little bit of a, I don't know what the word is, but I thought the tone was definitely realistic. You just played the soundbite of them not being one player away. He was pretty upfront in terms of what they are not looking for with the 8th overall pick or what they're trying to avoid with the 8th overall pick. Fairly open about, the futures of Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan and potentially Taysom Hill based off what happens in the draft class. So at least in the grand scheme of, press conference, pre-draft press conferences with Mickey Loomis, I actually thought this was a pretty good one. Touched on a lot of different topics, spoke for about 30 minutes. And there was a little bit of insight to take from it, where in past years you really couldn't take a whole lot from it.
What do you think happens with Cam and Alvin?
Well, I think if they draft a running back first half of the draft, call it first 2 days, I think you're probably looking at a situation where Alvin is moving on. But that situation is so tricky because he's still under contract, so they would have to either try to trade him or cut him. And then there's even the idea that even if he does come back, there would even need to be an even further contract adjustment based off the adjustment that they already made. That really was the first time I had ever heard of a team using such a thing. So I think really, if a running back is taken now, if it's a 6th or 7th round pick, I don't foresee that being much of an issue for Alvin. But if it's the top half of the draft, I could see, his days being numbered. And then in Cam's case, he's been available to sign anywhere all this time. He's a free agent. And I think the market's kind of telling Cam right now, what they view his services, at least right now. Now, look, post-draft free agency, veteran free agency is a very real thing. And sometimes you can connect with someone after the draft based off of, draft classes being filled and rosters have a different look, and maybe there's a need for a player. But it feels like there's a stronger, at least in my opinion, slightly stronger path for Cam to return just based off what the market is, and obviously there's strong attachments from him to the organization. So we'll see what happens. I do think the draft will certainly tell us a lot. If they go edge early, I could see that being a problem for Cam. I guess we just have to wait and see.
What do you think, Sean Fazande's with us, what do you think they avoid at 8?
Well, Mickey kind of told us, he said they're trying to get as clean as a prospect as possible. They're trying to be more risk averse. They're trying to avoid players that have any sort of significant questions about them. And, part of that is where they're picking. They're picking 8. So you're talking about if you just do math, there's a realistic chance they're going to have the opportunity to pick someone that doesn't have any of those, call it risks or asterisks or whatever you want to call it. And he was asked specifically about Reuben Bain. He came out and said that's an outlier, that's an exception. I asked him about. I didn't name Jordan Tyson by name, but I said, what is your feeling on players that are injured during the pre-draft process and how you project them? He said that is difficult to project. You got to go by, what you get at the combine and do your best from your medical staff to project the timeline of a certain player. So to me, certainly feels like they're trying to get a cleaner prospect that doesn't have the risk, call it, if you want to call it that, that would be attached to a player with the 8th overall selection. They want as risk-free as possible because, like you said to open this segment, they're not one player away. And given where they're selecting, they'll have a chance to probably get one that doesn't have the red flags, call it.
What would you like them to do at 8, player or position? Best case.
Oh, well, best case is Jeremiah Love falling out, and they don't have to move to go get him. But outside of that, based off the realistic picture of the way the board has been projected, it's Mansour Delane all the way. It's to me, he checked that box as far as clean prospect, checks all the size, speed, measurables, productivity. I even read somewhere where he didn't commit a penalty last year, something crazy like that. You have a need. I know there's the inside-outside debate, but if you can get a chance to get the top corner of a class at 8, a premier position, I think you do it. And I think, look, he would walk in being the team's number one corner, more than Kool-Aid and more than, Quincy Riley, in my opinion. And I know, what do you do at slot corner? Well, you kind of figure that out. Either you shuffle some guys that can play outside or inside, or you look at the safety position's been alluded to with Blackman potentially being a nickel/star fit there. And I know Caleb Downs is the other one. Those would be the two names that I've kind of gone back and forth with because he would also, check the box as being pretty risk-free and fewer questions on him. And look, he fits Brandon Staley's system to a T as well. But for me, it would be Mansour Delane. I just think if you can get a premier cornerback, a shutdown corner. The last time they did it was 2017 with Marshawn Lattimore. And look what he did for the first 6-7 years of his career. I think you take that opportunity.
Got a couple more for you. Sean Fazande's with us, Fox 8 in New Orleans. He's at Sean Fazande, Fox 8, if you want to give him a follow. They have 8 picks, Sean. And I was floored last year that they made 9 selections. That's just not something that this organization has customarily done with Mickey Loomis as the GM. They're aggressive. They package picks. They move up. Do you think they will make all 8 picks?
I think it's possible, especially, if you really just listen to Mickey today. I think it's possible, especially when you consider, that was a really good draft last year, and they were patient, and it worked out for them. But I also think it's in Mickey's DNA to move up. I don't see it happening in the first round, unless it's one of these small move up from 8 to like 5 or 6, and it doesn't necessarily cost you a whole lot to go up. Because I want no part of next year's first-round pick being included in any kind of package to move up. But I really could see it happening in day 2 or day 3, in particular when you get to that second wave of wide receivers. If they don't take a wide receiver at 8th overall, and you're sitting there at 43, and you have a chance to maybe make a small move up in the second round to get, a guy that, it's a high-graded prospect and obviously checks off a huge need, that would be a great opportunity as well. So I think there's pros and cons to both. I like the idea, though, that last year they had the big class, so they're kind of catching up with some of those 4- and 5-player classes that they had in years past. They got 9. So if you moved up this year, I know a lot of fans don't like that, but you'd still be over a 2-year span with 16 prospects provided what the compensation would be. You'd still be +2 in terms of your draft class. So I wouldn't have a huge problem with it. I just don't like it on day 1.
One more for you. You said like the dream scenario would be Jeremiah Love. So they've already spent in free agency on Travis Etienne. So they've gotten an expensive running back. Why would you be in favor of adding Love in that scenario at 8? Or Sean, what if crazier things have happened? They move up to 3 to leapfrog Tennessee and take the running back.
Yeah, I just think he would be dynamic playmaker for this system. You're trying to build around your young quarterback. It's the best running back in the class. And I know some people don't value that position, but I know Kellen Moore certainly had one season with Saquon Barkley, and obviously We saw what happened there. And then you could have a dynamic duo in the backfield with he and Achane. And I know you've already spent money on Achane, and that would certainly somewhat complicate things. But they've done that in years past, despite having running backs. They've drafted running backs, and sometimes those players turned out to be great players. So just for me, it would be just because of the fit and the explosive playmaking ability of Jeremiah Love. And he's another one. I mean, talk about a clean prospect. I mean, he's just done, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He's been a phenomenal player, obviously, in Notre Dame system. So I just think it would be a really good fit. And at the running back position, it's always been, you always had more than just one guy back there. So for me, it would be worth it. Maybe not for everyone else, but I think Jeremiah Love, I think they have a high opinion of him as well.
Yes, they do, which terrifies me because I am firmly in the camp, Sean, of ain't no way in hell I'm taking, not Jeremiah Love, a running back with a top 10 pick. So, brother, you want to see an epic scone rant? Let New Orleans somehow find a way to take Jeremiah Love either 8 or higher. Brother, that will be must-see TV or internet content come Friday, I'll tell you that much. But
I'll tell you what, I'll be front and center watching it, man. I can't wait. I hope that happens.
Oh, God.
Want to see it.
No.
I'm pulling for it now.
No, I don't want that for this team. I don't want that for this team. It'd be great content, but I don't want that for this team. All right, Sean Fazende, Fox 8. Y'all give him a follow at Sean Fazende, Fox 8. Thanks, man. We appreciate you.
All right, bud.
All right, be well. It is after further review. So I've been telling you about this. You got to go follow Supper Club on Instagram if you don't already. I'm going to show you this video. So I told you this late last week, Chef Layton got 2 slabs of Kobe beef, authentic Japanese Kobe beef in at Supper Club. I believe since they've been open, this is only the second time they've ever got it. True, authentic Japanese Kobe beef from Japan, like with the purple chrysanthemum on it and everything. 2 slabs, probably about 15 pounds of beef. When it's gone, it's gone. If you love steak, if you love trying rare, incredible, different things, you've got to get to Supper Club. If you have had Kobe beef, if you're lucky enough to have had it in the past, or if you've never had it and would love to try it, you got to get by Supper Club. Because I'm telling you, with it, the more I keep talking about it, it's just going to go even quicker. But I mean, you're talking about max week and a half, 2 weeks that the thing will last. So you won't try it, get by Supper Club. You never need a reservation. You can always sit at the bar, open seating at the bar, 14 bar stools, 7 bar tables. Maybe you get lucky on a given night and get a table in the dining room, but you can always get your reservation at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Kobe beef, they got it now. When it's gone, it's gone. Get on by. Try it over at Supper Club. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Really appreciate it. We do have a quick note about Verge Ausberry. We'll get to the Ausberries taste like Ausberries. I can't believe in all the years. I got a ding? Wow.
You get a ding for that. I like that one.
Wow.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
I mean, although for sure I would get the prices right, like Longhorns.
No,
there.
but you see, I'm biased because I love Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's a guilty pleasure movie. So
in all the years I've known Verge 20-something years, I've never on air said that.
Just on air?
Or any not I'm aware
have you told him that? That's what I was going to ask.
I don't think so. Huh. He wouldn't care.
Would he get it? That's the question. Verge,
yeah,
you think?
Verge is late 50s? Of course he knows Willy Wonka. The Ausberries, you have to do with the accent. The Ausberries taste like Ausberries. So it's schnozberries. Tastes like schnozberries from Willy Wonka, if you don't know the movie. I have no idea why that just popped in my brain and I said it that way. But I did, and I can't take it back. It went into the mic and out into the world, and it's there. It is there now forever. All right, I'm going to knock out a break. Stay here, AFR.
After further review.
Man, I love telling you about Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Awesome local business. Been taking care of our community for 6 decades. Flowers and plants and trees and shrubs. Awesome selection. full greenhouses and everything you need to beautify your outdoor spaces and keep those unwanted pests away. I got a message earlier today. Scone, what's that thing you talk about? The keeps mosquitoes away for 90 days. It's called the Aeon Mosquito Barrier. They have it at Clegg's. It's a big end cap. You see the big display. Comes in a box. It's a 2 tubes, size of a track baton. You take the top off. It's got granules in it. Fill it with water, shake it, hang it on your property line, and you're done with mosquitoes 90 days at a time. I don't know how or why it works. I don't really care. I just know that it does, and we don't have mosquitoes at our house, and that's the only treatment I use. It's the Aeon. It's like $30. It's the Aeon Mosquito Barrier. It's at Clegg's. So get by any of the 4 locations. Pick it up and tell them Scone sent you in. Buy local, shop local. Clegg's Nursery.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Wilson Alexander of On 3 has reported that LSU's got a new contract with Verge Ausberry. So I think this probably surprises people to hear it a little bit, but Verge was installed, I should say, as the interim athletic director initially. They removed that interim tag. There was a little bit of semantics, as we know, but going back to December when that happened, I guess that was actually November when that happened, right after Brian Kelly was fired, and then shortly thereafter. Verge didn't get a new contract. They adjusted his salary. He received a slight pay bump from his previous salary as his associate AD job, so he got a slight pay bump. But did not immediately get a new contract. So only now has LSU and Verge Ausberry agreed to a new long-term deal. So this contract, it's a 4-year deal. So it'll take him through, this is according to Wilson's report, it'll take Verge through 2030, and it'll pay him $6.3 million over 4 years. So it'll be $1.5 million per year for the first 2 years. And then it'll increase over the final 2 years of the deal by $100,000 per. So he'll go from 1.5 to 1.6 to 1.7. So that'll be the term of his deal over the 4 years. So this deal, like this contract, like all others, will have to be approved by the Board of Supervisors, which certainly will. I think it's interesting because there has been, look, Verge took this job and was thrust right into the fire. From the initial what's the word? The little kerfuffle there with President Roos, who as I mentioned, sort of the semantics argument, if you remember, when President Roos referred to Verge as interim and said he could make a decision 8 hours on the job, and then they quickly sort of rectified that, and it's been great moving forward. But right from there, and then obviously he had to hire a football coach, and then there's been a change at the chairman of the board, and then of course the Will Wade situation. It's been a lot, man. If you think about Verge Ausberry being on the job since November, it hadn't even been 6 months, and he's hired a football coach and a basketball coach. I mean, the 2 biggest hires any athletic director can make, and Verge has had to do that, and obviously, the other most popular sport on campus, baseball, you've had a very public conversation about maybe Jay Johnson being unhappy with rev share and things along those lines, that he's have to rectify that as well. I mean, I can't imagine that hiring the 2 most important coaches on campus and then going through what they've gone through with their baseball coach as well, that Verge will face anything more difficult than what he's already faced here through these first 4 months on the job, whatever it is, 5 months on the job. So, but anyway, according to Wilson Alexander, they have agreed, LSU and Verge Ausberry have agreed to terms of a new deal, a new contract for Verge, instead of just the amendment to the deal that he had been working on that paid him a little bump from his previous salary. So congrats to Verge Ausberry. I think this is relevant because, look, obviously when Scott Woodward was fired or they mutually agreed to part ways, whatever, again, semantics. But one of the things that the governor talked a lot about as sort of the core of his statement was buyouts. He wanted contracts that were done responsibly with a responsible buyout structure. If LSU fires Ausberry without cause, he would be owed 80% of his remaining compensation, 80. So all that to say, if anyone was still thinking that there was this lingering thought that Verge was still a stopgap and they were waiting for an opportunity to get the right person in there, I don't see that. With the significance of this dollar amount and 80% of his contract owed him if he were fired without cause, hard to imagine a scenario where that happens, at least any time in the near future, as LSU is trying to wrap its brain around and its reality around getting out from this mountain of debt, from dead money they have from paying people that aren't working for LSU anymore. I just don't think they're eager to continue piling more dead money on their ledger. So this is a very, very clear statement from President Roos, who ultimately is the decision maker on this. Now the board has to approve it, but President Roos is the one that is Verge Ausberry's boss. So, this is a very clear statement from President Roos that he supports Verge Ausberry, and Verge is going to be the athletic director at LSU for a long time. So, congrats to Verge on the new deal, and as this will go before the board of supervisors to be rubber stamped, we'll certainly follow it. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We are brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Tell you every day to kill mold, remove odor, call Parish Restoration. Process is easy. All Jim Woodworth, his team, they'll come in, they'll spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. They have the Sprinter vans, right? So the hosing is like all lined in the Sprinter van. So they grab the hose, they pull the Sprinter van up, they grab the hose, they run it, they go into your house, they spray, or your place of business, whatever. They'll spray all throughout. They'll close up the windows and the doors. They'll let that fog dwell. It'll kill everything down to the spores, mold, other harmful pathogens, viruses like flu. You get sickness going through your school, place of business, church. You want to sanitize, have them come in and spray. Maybe you got odor. Knock out all your odor. Parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Mold remediation and restoration experts, it's Parish Restoration. Parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Been a really busy show. We had Johnny Avello from DraftKings on here with us in hour number one. You heard Sean Fazende there just a bit ago. A lot of draft talk. One thing we didn't get to, the draft starts really with the second pick. This was Tom Pelissero on Good Morning Football. It sounds like there's a clearer picture now of what the Jets are maybe looking to do at 2 after Fernando Mendoza goes 1 to the Raiders.
It really comes down, Jamie, to David Bailey or Arvell Reese. And if you talk to people around the NFL, as I have, it would be a great surprise within the league if the pick is not Bailey, the Texas Tech edge rusher. He is the best pure pass rusher in this draft. Arvell Reese, obviously a very talented player out of Ohio State, but a lot of his production in the pass rush game has come on blitzing. Is he a linebacker? Is he an edge? You know exactly what David Bailey is. The sense within the league is it's David Bailey at 2. That then would put the Arizona Cardinals on the clock and begin the potential for trades, as well as open the window of about 3 picks where we think Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame could go.
It will be fascinating to see as we look through it. Of course, Fernando Mendoza will be the first pick. Arvell Reese, though, however, at DraftKings right now is minus $1.45 to be the number 2 pick, with David Bailey second at plus 110. So while Tom Pelissero is saying Bailey is likely to be the pick, that's what people in the NFL circles think. The odds makers think the opposite, that Arvell Reese is actually the betting favorite right now to be the number 2 pick. Speaking of bets, Jimmy will be here next for Auto Locks. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions. We tell you about Glow Resources every single day. Who we're talking to are not you, the employee. We're talking to you, the employer. You own your business and need to hire? You need Glow Resources. Maybe you're the HR manager, the hiring manager, the operations manager, the VP. If you're the person in your business that's responsible for finding the right people, you need Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com. Because at Glow Resources, they work hard to find the best people to fit the exact job that you have. What kind of job? Well, in Bay Springs, Mississippi, they're looking for a senior design engineer. Like, go to the Facebook page. You can see all these right now. Again, Bay Springs, Mississippi is looking for a senior design engineer. In Geismar, they need a training coordinator for a business. In Thibodaux, a heavy equipment operator. In LaPlace, a lawn care specialist. You get the point. No matter what type of business you own, you need Glow Resources. GlowResources.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Lowest prices, never any contracts, hormone replacement therapy, peptide therapy, ED treatments. Live your best, fullest, most vital life. Yourgoodwood.com. Yourgoodwood.com. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Yo, Otter, what up?
What's going on, Matthew?
Another day, another dollar, brah. I'm excited about the draft tomorrow, man, and your yellow legal pad of about 700 picks. I'm sad I'm not going to see you at Don Juan tomorrow, though.
We are doing the show at Bally's at the DraftKings Sportsbook tomorrow. So we will we'll be giving out some bets on the show tomorrow. The last couple of days we've done that as well. Randy McKay fired in with some of his today. Matt Humans does his own mock draft. He's done that for years for the Las Vegas Review-Journal and his for his show. And so we have a lot of draft action for you tomorrow. And the DraftKings, a lot of people have pulled back on their menu for the draft. They hate booking it. They just feel like somebody knows and they don't on some of this information. But DraftKings has been very aggressive. Still a big menu will be available tomorrow.
Yeah, man. All right, what we got tonight?
All right, let's go to the NBA. Bounce back, the zigzag, the home team when they lose, and they did by double digits on Sunday night. We're going to take the Pistons minus the 8.5 in the first game. Nothing on the late game. The spread's like 17.5. OKC can pretty much name their score against Phoenix, but we're going to go with the Pistons to bounce back in a big way tonight. Got a Major League Baseball moneyline parlay for you. We got the Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani against the Giants. Bounce back for them as well. They lost 3-1 at San Francisco last night. And Arizona to bounce back. They got shelled at home by the White Sox. Talked about them being improved this year. But Dodgers, Arizona moneyline parlay pays plus 143. Not sure what that's updated at now.
It is, I'll tell you right now. Let's see. The money line parlay is coming back right now. Still plus $1.43.
Randy McKay gave us 3 hockey bets tonight. Philadelphia, 1-1 in that series, minus 114 in the money line. Minnesota, 1-1 in that series, minus 130 in the money line. And then late tonight, a big dog, Anaheim on the road, plus $1.64. So 3 money line plays for Randy McKay. Philadelphia, Minnesota, and Anaheim. I've got one add-on for you in the totals for baseball. We've been riding. Check out what Atlanta and Washington is.
It's 9.5
right now. 9.5. They've gone over 5 of the last 6. Has Washington. The bullpen is not good, so I would still advise going in-game over that 9.5. We got it at 9 earlier, but 9.5, I would still bet it with Atlanta at Washington.
Bottom one, Atlanta's already up 1-0 in that game. So good start.
Yeah.
Good start. All right, tomorrow, Thursday, where are we? Oh, you just said Bally's.
Bally's, a brand new Bally's downtown at the Atrium at the DraftKings Sportsbook with a lot of draft conversation, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
All right, get all your picks, get your bets ready to roll for the draft starting tomorrow night. Thank you, Otter.
Legal pads ready. Good luck.
I would have it no other way. That is Jimmy Ott. It's after further review. Jimmy's a Williamson Eye Center patient, by the way, as am I, Dr. Blake Williamson. Just the best. Jimmy had the custom lens replacement. I had LASIK. So Jimmy was doing the thing where, he's got the readers on the end of his nose and using the flashlight on his phone to read the menu and said enough. Went and saw Dr. Blake, had the custom lens replacement. Now doesn't need the readers, not fumbling around for them anymore. Just opens your eyes and just see. Me, it was LASIK. And at some point in my life, I'll need some other touch-up or a refractive procedure. Maybe it'll be PRK. Maybe it'll be a custom lens replacement. I don't know. But I'll trust Dr. Blake Williamson to walk me down that path to whatever is going to be the best option to me to make sure I never have to put glasses or contacts on my face again. Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. Okay, y'all, that's going to do it for us. Hey, reminder, tomorrow our full lineup of shows are out on the parade grounds at LSU for the Team Kate Swab event. Let's pray tomorrow's the day that we find 11-year-old Kate Hargett, her match. She gets the bone marrow transplant she needs. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, much about Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know, Parish Construction and Roofing. Right here, home base in Baton Rouge. Got our office in New Orleans. Recently opened up our Austin, Texas office as well. So tell your Austin, Texas friends that they have roof issues. Do business with someone you know, Parish Construction and Roofing. Hey, remember, we're also Louisiana's first certified fortified roofing company. If you've heard about fortified roofs, you're not familiar, go to the website, parishbuilt.com. Right on the homepage, you'll see the big fortified logo. Just click that logo right there, and you can learn more about fortified roofs at Parish Construction Roofing. We'd love to help you out, walk you through that process, and show you how you could save money potentially on your insurance premiums as well, as insurance companies will offer discounts if you have a fortified roof. We'd love to help you through that process. Do business with someone you know. It's Parish Construction and Roofing. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com.